Start record.
A little satisfaction. A $200 parking ticket got written last night at the Stroll.
Yay! Yes!
And they had the van blocking the car, so the guy had to confront somebody when he came to collect.
All right, are we on?
Yeah, time is supposed to be moving, right?
Does it say stop record?
So stop
Yeah.
record.
Okay, so we're on.
Okay.
All right, calling the meeting
Time
to
is not
order
timing.
for the Charter Commission for the July 31st meeting. And we have present a quorum. Not present are Tony London, Paul Doan, and Lou Urbano. This is for our secretary.
Yeah.
Okay, call to order. Approval of the minutes for July 24th.
I make a motion, we approve.
Second. Any discussion?
I have one amendment though.
Yes, sir.
Just a typo on Lou's name in the first two lines.
Urbano. Got it. We'll get that fixed. Anything else? So motion on the floor to approve with that small change. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Abstain.
One.
One abstention.
Thank you.
501. Okay. Continuing business, we still don't have any responses on the search for a consultant, and we haven't heard anything from town agencies.
I'm surprised nothing from Guru, huh? Rick White?
Maybe it's
Well, we did give,
vacation.
we did give them until August 10th.
Okay, 'cause he just signed his contract for the town administrator search.
I was thinking of the 4 people, 2 companies, 2 individuals,
Summer.
sending them out are you there? Did you get our email? Hello?
Do you plan to respond?
Do you plan to respond?
I wouldn't,
Nope.
if they're not professional enough to respond, we don't want them.
Good point.
You put a date in?
Yeah, I believe it was August 10th,
Oh,
I think.
so then.
So maybe they just need more time.
Linda, I'm sorry, the
August 10th, yeah, right?
only point is, you don't want to have to keep reminding them of everything throughout the process.
Yes.
If you're gonna remind them to send in a proposal, well, did you get that work done? Oh, yeah, we're working on it.
Yeah, I don't want to hear that either. All right, so that's just the continuing business. Keeping an eye on that. Okay, next. Discussion on current Harwich Charter. We're going to continue on the budget timelines. I think we talked about last week, while we don't have a date, that there was a general consensus of moving that early February budget to a mid to early January. And making the proposal that when the budget gets issued, when this gets issued from the town administrator, that the finance committee doesn't have to wait 2 weeks to get anything.
Right.
That they get it at the same time. So that's kind of where we were. Those are the 2 pieces that we had talked a bit about it. I think we had looked at some of the other committees. Sandy had a nice, there was a nice section for Eastham as to how the information, or what information has to get, so we liked that.
I'm waiting on a response from Taylor White.
Okay?
So remind me, without looking through, TA is responsible for a budget by October 1st?
The departments have to send it in by,
No, but when is he responsible for issuing a budget?
I think I
It was
have these.
December
I
1st.
have another one of these. Unless you did you get the?
Richard wasn't here last
Yeah, I know, but I emailed
Oh,
it.
you-
On or
Oh.
before the first
I don't think I did.
February.
I don't, I'll double check my
This is
emails.
a
It's a
grid
good-
I did for
Yeah,
Eastham.
it's a very.
second Tuesday of February.
so yes, the town administrator in the charter has to submit a budget to the select board by the 2nd Tuesday in February. The departments are supposed to send in their budgets on or before the first Friday in December. And we had the final form of the articles are supposed to be due on the 2nd Friday in February, and the select board, the So the town administrator is submitting the budget to the select board second Tuesday in
I got that.
February.
No, the October 1st was the,
Oh, the current
Financial
financial,
assessment,
yes. And I think we talked about that should include a 5-year projection. Just picking 5 years as a, we can talk whether it should be 7, 2, or whatever, but.
so what the consensus was, I'm assuming from last week, is that when the TA submits a budget to the select board, it is submitted to the finance committee at the same time?
That's,
Yeah.
yes, that's one, and then moving it back from that second Tuesday
To the,
in February to something
Beginning of
like,
January, I think.
beginning to the middle of January,
pick a date.
moving it back.
Don't do Jan, do the second Tuesday of January if that's the
All right.
case. Don't leave it nebulous.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yeah,
If we're gonna make the change, let's make the change.
and that's the budget, and the second change is to the finance committee and the select board, because this is nonsense.
Comprehensive too.
Yes, we
Detailed.
used words
Comprehensive.
like the budget, when it's presented to the select board and the finance committee, comprehensive, detailed memos. I'm not sure how to phrase that, because right now, what the finance committee has been getting is police, salaries.
How about
Expense.
complete breakdown of all line items?
Yes.
Okay, the budget is the budget, and the budget should have line items, should have groups of expenses. You know, the budget's the budget. So budget should be what the budget is gonna be passed. The only thing that's not maybe totally ready is all the revenue sources.
And even though the budget is salaries, expenses, and that's each department, I agree. But it's, what's the detail behind the salaries? It's the detail that the finance committee has not been getting, nor has the select board. How many people are in each department? Are there any ads, you know, all that stuff. What's in the expenses? The expense line is one number, and it's really 20 line items. And they haven't been getting the detail behind those two summary numbers.
Which they used to get,
Oh, yeah,
always.
Did you both get them?
Yes.
The budget book used to be this thick. What goes to the finance committee now
Okay,
is
so
about
let
this
me
thick.
ask, again, both
Well, Tom,
members, no, who sat on the board, select
Oh.
board, okay. When you both got them, and you're what, 15 years apart when you served?
No, it was up there, I was there till 98.
I was there, yeah, it's
I mean,
probably 10, 12
87,
years.
Okay.
87 to
But bottom line
98.
is, you got a full budget
Uh-huh.
with line items for each department,
Mhm.
okay.
All the detail, all the backup, all the reasoning.
Departmental budget memos, because they say why they're doing what they're doing and proposing it, so detail, you know, the memos, we got all the memos.
So that anything that the town administrator has received in preparing a budget is what is to go out. I don't disagree.
Well, it's where you know, typically, maybe 100 years ago, we got the school budget with all the detail.
Yeah,
And in the year where we eliminated $600 for Little Fiddlers because of, it was capital 4, or whatever was the year that before 2.5. And found at the same time that there was a catered lunch for a teacher's meeting for $600. And you say, okay, wouldn't you rather do this than that? That kind of thing. It's some of those things that are buried in detail can be really interesting.
Okay, so in thinking out, and pardon my process for thinking it out. Is there a stumbling block for TA to get the full budget a month prior? Is there an issue getting that a month earlier?
According to Noreen last week, the Thames Apartments all have their budgets ready in, what did she say?
she said August, but I have a hard time believing that.
Well, even
How,
December.
School,
they haven't
school is
started
the
yet,
only
so
difference.
August is,
School is the
tomorrow.
only one that,
Right, August would be tomorrow, which means you haven't closed the fiscal year that just ended,
right,
so you don't have your actuals. So you're sitting there in
you know.
in August, you have virtually no information on the current year, you don't have the closing numbers on the last year, and you're projecting a budget for 2 years from now. Yeah. I mean, the charter says December, that's probably not unreasonable.
I wouldn't think so.
December for,
But departments
Departmental, yeah.
to send in their budgets, and then that would give you said, the second Tuesday of January, because all this stuff is going through Munis.
right, but, okay, so here's the thing, so if we're looking, the TA should have a month
Yes,
to assemble, so that if budgets by the departments must be done minimum of a month ahead of time.
yep,
Month is a reasonable time to look and prepare a budget. Less than that, I think it's very, very
Well,
difficult.
particularly since they don't radically change from 1 year to.
No, they may not, but the intricacies of the lunch versus the, a program,
Mhm.
it does take time to get through that. And so whatever we're going to do, if it's gonna be second Tuesday of January, there should be a month prior to that for all departmental budgets to be completed, never mind submitted.
Because I think that'll bring it to 5 weeks, so that'll give a little grace for the holidays. Because theirs is due the first Friday.
first, on or before the first Friday of December are the
Yeah.
departmental budgets.
Right,
So that gets them in there early December.
yeah,
Then you've got, if you say second Tuesday of January, even if you wanna say third Tuesday of January, you still are giving 5 to 6, about 5 weeks to 6 weeks to look at these numbers. And they are all going into Munis, so once, because all the departments have to put their own information in, so it's not like all this stuff comes on paper like it used to. And then the accounting department would sit there and manically put everything in. That stuff is all there, so now you're running a report.
but
You
that
analyze.
is just for the numbers. That's
Yes.
not for the budget memos,
They,
that's not for that backup.
I would say that then, that is supposed to come with the budgets,
No, I agree, but that's not a munis, you can't just pull that.
right, not the
That-
budget
That's an
memos.
info dump that's
Yes,
gotta
there
be,
is.
Yeah.
if you're gonna
Manual.
get that to the select board and the finance committee, that could be 50 pages of additional data that's
Sure.
not pulled from munis that you
Right.
can print a report on.
They scan them,
Yeah.
stick them in a file.
John, may I, Madam Chair?
Oh, can we stop with the Madam Chair and Madam Vice Chair bit?
No,
It's driving me crazy.
sorry, live with it,
Huh?
live with it. Learn to live with it. Madam, just respect of the office of which you sit. John,
But not me.
It's the office,
Go
for
ahead.
sure.
Richard, go ahead.
thank you, Madam Vice Chair. Mr. Treasurer,
Bothered me.
Yeah, Mr. Treasurer, would you talk in,
do
please?
you, when you have access, do you have access to a Dropbox when you get the material?
For, when I was finance meeting?
Correct.
The only year we got a comprehensive booklet, sort of, with when Carol was here. And it was a binder about 3 inches thick, with all the budget items. I didn't see any memos, but there was a lot of backup in it. I mean, and then, as soon as Chris Clark left and Joe came on, that stopped. It disappeared.
How did you receive a physical book?
Yeah, a binder,
So you
3-inch
didn't get
binder.
it digitized
Yeah, 3-inch
Which-
binder
Yeah,
with
scribble
backup
notes all.
and justifications.
by a notebook?
And history too, going back multiple years, like on employee headcount. It was good to see how the spikes of the headcount. I mean,
No, I just think obviously it's easier when you're pulling reports, if you've got something as a backup, that you can look at your computer and say, I've got all of the data here.
Sure, I mean, I think some people want to see it
Sure.
in
I
paper.
like the hard copy.
I mean, I'm perfectly happy to say budget in full detail, that if it gets put into a Dropbox and people can access it, fine. If there are the people who want it hard copy, then it gets printed out in a binder for them. It doesn't, I don't think that is a stopping point.
No, I don't need it. I just think it's for immediacy of data. If you email me something tonight, I have it, I can go home and look at it. We're gonna print it for you, and
Clearly you didn't, but that's okay.
I'm gonna check to see if you emailed me now. See, now I'm gonna go in, just to double check.
I can answer from the finance
Yeah.
committee, because I sat on the finance
Yeah.
committee, Mr. John, that, you sat on finance committee,
Yeah.
that when you schedule the X department to come in, and that's the
Mhm.
finance chair doing that, you say, okay, police department, fire department, we're gonna schedule you and can you come in on this date?
Mhm.
Send us your budget backup memos in advance. It would go to the chair and get emailed to the rest of the committee. So you had those like that. People came in with their budget memos and they provided them in advance, because those are done to justify that December 1st.
But this, with this change, those budget memos will be submitted with the budget.
They should be submitted with the budget, so.
That's what we're saying.
Some of
It's
the
a-
nuts and bolts has to be worked out.
Yeah, but that, what, in talking comprehensive budget, we need to know what we're talking about. We're trying to get rid of the gray areas of the charter.
Yep,
So if it's a comprehensive, detailed budget, including budget memos, et cetera, so that you don't want to have to wait till fire or police comes in with their budget memos. When you receive the budget through the Dropbox or in your big 3-ring binder, you have everything there.
yeah,
So that the entire budget's there. You don't want to wait for, oh, this department didn't bring in their budget memos. Oh, we forgot them. I'm sorry. No, you've already got it. And then I think it will streamline the discussions of finance with the departments if you have all that detail ahead of time.
so that's some of the stuff we were talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, like Richard says, the interpretation of a word, that's what's tripping us up now. Everybody interprets the word differently.
Of course it
And I think that's part of why we're here
Yeah,
doing
tighten
this,
that up.
is tighten
Yeah.
up the words and be specific.
I
Which is
agree with you more.
100% why we are here doing this, because there's just been too much monkeying around and, you know, semantics about what is.
What's
Yeah.
comprehensive, you know, everybody, we'll get 7 different definitions.
Right, exactly. Attorneys love ambiguity.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Lawyers love
They
it.
make
course.
a mountain of money and
That's where they make the money.
And that's some of the stuff we've got to figure out how to get rid of. But then again, I'm not sure how we get rid of my pet peeve, shall is advisory.
Well,
Those
clearly
are specific words
Sandra,
in legal to
thank you.
be
Oh, you're welcome.
You're supposed to do
interpreted.
it, and they're not interpretive. Shall is not interpretive. You
No,
shall
that's a
do
command.
this.
What, the second one you said?
I said, shall means advisory.
Under definition,
Right, I
you
was just
put
gonna
the
say,
word
yep,
shall,
right.
and you say,
Have to do.
yeah,
Yeah.
not advisory. This is mandate.
And that's something interesting in our charter. We don't have a definitions section.
Yes, we do.
Is there a definitions section?
Section 3, definitions. The back end, C27.
Oh, the back end.
We don't have a table of contents, though, do we?
Right.
That would probably be a useful thing to
So-
include.
Your point there, Linda,
Huh, I don't
is
have
that,
27.
I guess one of the
Yeah,
notes,
page 27, yeah, you're right.
one of those notes should be added to definitions, shall,
Shall mean shall.
will be added and
Yes.
defined.
Shall equals do, not advisory.
So that's a point, if we
Not
get into any,
optional, not advisory, mandatory.
so I think that's a great place as we discuss this, we get into any areas of ambiguity, we define it, it goes in the definitions.
Right.
I think that's great. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, it's
So-
a good plan. I like it.
What I have is from when we started the housing trust. And there is no page 27.
Oh, we're in the charter.
There is in the charter, so
Yes,
this
there
is,
is.
there isn't in the booklet, in the packet that they put together for the housing trust.
Oh,
So
interesting.
download the new one.
I will, I'm just saying,
Isn't
that
that
makes a
interesting?
lot of sense.
It was May of '23 that this was updated.
It ends in,
We got ad hoc committee on it.
Yeah, you,
Yeah.
when you,
interesting.
when
We
you
got
check,
definitions.
you should have 28, 29 pages.
29.
Yeah.
okay.
That's a good point. So add
Um,
that definitions section.
No, I just remembered that, and I mentioned it to you at the time, and I didn't follow up on it. That email from Emily, when I asked her if there was a more recent, and she gave me a long list of things we should know that are in process. There was E-code being added.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've got that email, and I've got to make a note to forward that, because I meant to at the time, and summer happened.
Yes, yes, that's the, she also sent out back in June, she sent a memo, I thought I sent it all to you, what had been approved by the
Attorney General.
Attorney General, so that all the charter amendments that were approved at town meeting 2024 are now in effect, and no conflict in law, and they were still reviewing in June the bylaw amendments.
Yeah, I think, I'll look at that, but I think what she sent me was a little different.
Might have been earlier, later, I don't
No,
know,
I've forgotten. Time just
but there is,
roars by.
I know. And Emily
Because
is,
I thought I had it, I would have sent it to you, but I can't seem to find it.
because Emily
I have
is
it somewhere.
pretty good about communications,
Oh, she's excellent, actually.
so telling
It'll
people
take her
what's
a nanosecond
going
to
on.
get back to you.
What's
Yeah.
next, Madam Chair?
So basically, so yes, department budgets define what full documentation means, but the change is the department budgets that come in, they come in with memos, the full detail, and those are the budgets that go to both the select board and the finance committee at the same time, and moving it back to the second Tuesday of January.
So should the word budget be included in definitions?
I think it should.
And that your statement that you just made with detailed reports, budget memos, et cetera, should be part of that definition.
I would agree, that's a good place for it.
Is there accounting or CPA language around reports, like what is, like in entrepreneurship, we call it validation for, I'm just wondering, I don't know.
I'm not sure there's a CPA type of thing, but it really all depends on what has been defined. That, you know, if you ask your kid, did they pick up their shoes? Well, did they pick them up now?
Oh,
Did they pick
yes.
them up 3 months ago? Yes, they did. Did they pick them up today and every
Yes.
day?
yes.
It's that kind of,
Sandy, under the definitions, under I is reserved, what is that for?
let me take a look, where are you?
It's again, page 28,
28,
under,
reserved.
yeah, what is that for?
Just a
98.
placeholder
Oh.
for something? Or
Down
the
at the
foot-
bottom of the page, it says
there's a
editor's
footnote
note.
number, yeah.
Oh.
Former subsection I, which contained the definition of his and he and his, was repealed 5/1/22.
Okay. Thank you.
So they just left that letter open for
Anything else?
anything else.
Well, we'll fill up the rest of the alphabet with that.
Or maybe we're just supposed to be reserved. Fat chance.
So that's kind of where we were at the last budget, the last meeting we had on the timeline. Sandy had suggested that once, Mr. Chiave, gets to his desk, that we ask him to come in and talk about, from his experience, what would be the issues of moving it back by a month.
That was gonna be my next point,
Yeah.
speaking to whoever.
Well, I think to take it right from the horse's mouth, and it won't even require, particularly, I don't think him being in place for very long, because he's done this in 2 other towns.
But here's the other thing with that, and what I would recommend, just a suggestion, is you bring in both the TA and the ATA,
Yes,
because the ATA has done it within this schedule for this town.
Well, has she?
Yeah, of course, she's been in place.
2 years.
Yeah. Whereas he has not been in acting for a number of years now. So I think it would be good to have them both together, because where he may miss something locally here, he may have the experience from the other towns of Ashland and Bourne. She has the experience for Howard.
Yep.
And I think we want to get all of that together. So I would suggest we bring both of them in.
So I think, yeah. so
I think we
we
had
should-
that conversation last week,
We
too.
did.
Especially where Megan has done it before, she knows, and Terry has not. So, yeah, for his information.
Except that she has done it under the tutelage of an administration that wasn't doing it right.
But here's the thing, though, at least we understand the experience.
Yeah.
Why was it taking the time? She may have insight to that.
Yeah.
She may not, but I think at least she's sitting in the chair. She's been sitting there during the discussions. She understands, for whatever reason, why or why not it was delayed, and can it be, from her perspective, because she has more perspective locally than he will bring to the table. He's got great experience.
Well, the delay originally came from the 2016 changes in the charter. And why that was done that way, I would never understand, because prior to that, the date was earlier. The original charter, it was backed up earlier. And, 12 years that I was on the board, it worked fine. So I don't understand why it was changed. But then I wasn't paying attention for a few years, and that's on me. But it was a bad change.
Whether it was a bad change or not, it changed, because I think I was either on the finance committee or on the board when the change happened. And it was because we were getting into issues of, at the beginning of January, second Tuesday, whatever it is, we weren't getting the information on retirement and health insurance from the county. So the idea was that rather than sitting there at the beginning of January and saying, I think the answer is gonna sort of be this, if we could get wait for a couple of weeks or a few weeks to get the information. Same thing, you're getting the school budget in. But then the school budget, it was a good idea at the time, but it hasn't worked. So.
Well, plus you can do a lot of things in preparation while you wait for that other information, you just can't.
You can.
Yeah.
And even so, they're sitting there and saying, anybody who does a budget, and I do this for a living, which is you say, okay, I don't know what the answer is gonna be, but historically, health insurance has gone up 8 to 10% every year for the past 5 years. Probably gonna go up 10% for this budget too. This isn't.
Yeah. Well, plus you've gotten a chance to go through all the budgets, talk to departments, talk to the town administrator. So before you even make any decisions, there's an awful lot of extra runway there to get up to speed on the whys.
And how many times has finance committee, select board have meetings posted for the days of town meeting as changes occur last minute?
Absolutely.
There's plenty of runway.
Which is
for
going to
change.
happen anyway.
Of course it is. And so when you have a situation, you're right, a budget is a budget. And budgets change based on what happens. So that, absolutely, if we've got that done timely, something changes, county changes, insurance changes, whatever it does. We have an abysmal winter that we overspend our snow and ice budget
Absolutely.
by $1 million. Well, we're gonna make it up somewhere, we've gotta adjust for that. So if we do it January, that's a lot of runway to make.
It is, and it's a lot of runway, because if you've got, 80% of the budget at this point is salaries and wages, and insurances, and retirement, and and debt. All that stuff is known. You have your debt schedules already set out. They've got them set out for their 30 years of debt, how much is gonna be in each year, principal and interest. They already got all this information.
I
So
do.
there's a chunk of it
Yeah,
that
it's,
if you're looking at stuff, you're looking at, oh my heavens, we budgeted 10% for health insurance, it's gonna be 15%. You're working on one line item,
Right.
not the whole thing.
Plus, if you've gone through the budget as the initial draft, and you've looked at all the underlying reasons for this line item, and all of a sudden you get that kick in the head for the insurance, and you gotta find $250,000 that you weren't planning to, you can say, okay, I remember some things in that particular department budget, nice to have, not essential, we need to kick it out. We need to change it, we need to lower it, we need to monkey with some
and
numbers.
as you all know who've served on finance committee, there are still accounts that can be adjusted. I have one of them.
Right. That's your overlay? Yeah.
Question.
Sir.
How close to budget do we normally run in town?
I will answer that question with, take a look at how big free cash is. Free cash is effectively, we thought we were gonna get $10 million in revenue, and we were gonna spend $10 million in expenses, so we were gonna be even. At the end of the year, when they add all the numbers up at June 30, we've got $5 million in free cash, which means we either didn't, and it's both, some expenses didn't get spent. If you have an open position, a job position, that money doesn't get spent, so that drops into free cash. If you have a much better year on revenues, local receipts, more people go to the beach, more people drive, buy new cars, and the excise tax goes up. That all drops into that number that's called free cash, which is the dumbest phrase I've ever heard,
As Buddy
because
said.
nothing is free.
Bob Hall used to say, it's not free and it's not cash.
It is not.
Otherwise, it's a
it is
perfectly good.
It's all on
excess
paper.
revenue is what it is.
And why not just carry it over?
You can,
It is.
Can.
Yes.
but we are dedicated in this town
Spending
to
it all.
spend every single penny of that free
I'd like to
cash.
see us go to zero-based budgeting.
That'd be another one.
I proposed that.
Yeah,
It was-
absolutely.
What's
Start-
that?
You start and
Well,
tell
yeah, I
me why
think
you
you need
need
to
so much as a
educate
dollar in your budget,
folks.
Right?
and build it up from there.
And I also proposed, 5% cut, 10% cut, and a 15% cut. That didn't go over very big either.
Cut where?
In budgets, have it
Well, that's
already
a
planned out.
Easier
John,
said
that
than
is,
done.
again, from business, I can understand it. Municipal budget's a different world.
Yeah.
When you've got,
They
listen,
say
you get,
that.
it is, you've got 8 major unions negotiating right now.
Yeah.
And you're looking at anywhere from 8 to 12% increase in salaries and wages alone. Tell
Probably
someone,
over 3 years.
Which is nuts.
oh, 3 years, but nonetheless, we're losing people left and right because we can't pay enough of these people. We've seen what the town administrator increase in budget is going to be,
Oh, yeah.
upwards of $250,000 a year
Yeah.
to bring in a person to work here.
Yeah.
So,
I advocated for that 250.
but the thing is to take and say, okay, every budget in town, you're gonna cut 5 or 10%. Good luck.
And
They-
and a
it's-
chunk of it is also, because when I sat on the select board, we worked really hard to get those 2 police cruisers into the budget, that they were funded in the budget. And as the pressures on the budget got more and more, primarily from the union contracts and health insurance and retirement and all that going up, as well as the school budget going up 5 to 6% a year, now all those police cars that were in the budget are now in free cash. So, yeah, I'm not sure what else can be taken out once it gets tighter and tighter.
This is the thing,
Mm-hmm.
budgets, municipalities, services, taxes.
Yes.
What services do you want to cut to get your taxes? And the thing is, and okay, I'll use something that's near and dear to your heart. Well, we're going to wipe out all the pickleball courts to use for that. Or we're going to go to $300 per session for pickleball. Because wait a minute, we've been paying $75. You want to go to $300? Well, you want the service, you got to pay for it.
Yeah.
And if it's not going to be tax, it's going to be user fees. Okay, but everyone has got their pet peeves of things they like, the services they want, the services that they utilize. But I don't want to pay the taxes. But you want the services. If you want the services, you got to pay the taxes. If you want lower taxes, you cut the services. And that's where town meeting has historically said, we're not cutting services. So I think it's a long road unless you see something that we haven't done in 20 years that we're still providing as a service that no one wants anymore. Could we cut the landfill down to 4 days a week or 3 days a week? Sure we could.
Or cut out C&D.
Sure.
Yeah.
Cut out what?
There's lots of things you can do.
The
C&D
demo-
They don't wanna do it.
C&D makes its money with it.
The contractors come
Well,
up with
Yeah.
their,
it covers
Fairly
costs.
loads of,
Don't forget, you're
construction.
paying for employees, revenues,
understand
retirements,
that, but-
benefits. No, it's like the golf course. There isn't one department here that covers your costs, not one.
And John, here's the thing. The mentality of business versus the mentality of municipality are 2 totally different things.
I disagree.
Well, I just,
There's management
Well, that is the
principles that are
fundamental-
universal.
That is a fundamental mistake most people make, is that
Yeah.
they think they can run the town like this.
Oh, yeah,
It
you
can't
can't.
happen. You can run the town in a business-like way.
Right.
But one of the things that you will notice too is that very often the department will make damn sure it spends out its budget, because if it doesn't spend out its budget, then it won't get as much next year.
of course.
And
So-
school is notorious.
yeah, they are. Let's buy 47,000 more cases of paper.
We're gonna encumber.
Yes,
Yeah.
they encumber
Oh, yeah.
everything.
And those are where you can make changes, but we see little things that happened. The change to the beach stickers and the landfill stickers.
The selling
Uproar.
of, you mean?
Uproar. There was an uproar.
Yeah.
We're gonna do it online, use more technology. Oh, it was an uproar. I did it online, it was the quickest and easiest thing I could do. Versus the line going out the
You know, a
door.
lot of older people in this
But that's
town
my
that
point.
don't
See,
do.
that's exactly the
Yeah.
point, Sandy. The people that have become so accustomed to a service that this town provides, a service that, hey, I've used it for 25 years, now you're changing it on me.
change doesn't come easy for a
Doesn't come
lot of
easy.
people.
So we're
Yeah.
paying for 3 people to sit there and process beach stickers and transfer station stickers because that's a service that people want. Gotta be really tough to get rid of that.
Does that
A
online
friendly
service,
face goes a long way.
does that online process, I haven't tried it, will it take a debit card or only credit cards?
I don't know, I used a credit card.
Well, the other part of the problem too is, and I stood in
For a
the
fee.
Chamber of Commerce
Yeah.
building one Friday morning, 'cause my grandson's working at the Grateful Mug on Friday morning.
Awesome. That's-
Oh, good for you.
Oh,
What's his name?
Max,
Okay, because I know one of the other
big
kids who
tall
work.
string bean.
I know one of the other kids who works Friday morning, Paul.
Okay, well, Max is there Friday mornings, and while I was standing there talking to Max and getting my morning hugs, because he's a hugger, 2 or 3 people came in that were just down for the, come down for the weekend, their
Mhm.
summer houses, they were trying to get their stickers, and they were coming to the chamber to get them. Now, I'd forgotten what the situation is at the time, and they were certainly told where they could go and when, but the problem is that once town hall is closed,
Mhm.
they've got nowhere to go.
Mhm. They should be able to buy both at either a beach or,
Yeah,
At-
but you're not gonna have your
I know, there were
attendants
some issues
handling-
with the chamber.
handling money, yeah.
Well, I understand that, but still.
Well, some of these things we're not going to fix.
No.
Right.
So
Exactly.
rounding back to timeline,
Mhm.
are we comfortable with what we're, at this point, kind of coming to consensus on?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
Outside of a discussion with the TA and the
oh, yep,
ATA.
that's that, yes, AT.
Well,
But are we
it's good to
comfortable
tell
with
them
what we're?
we've got in
Oh,
mind
no, I
as a
agree.
group,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
that we can, yeah.
No, unless we hear something dramatically different from them, from both of them, saying, here are the reasons we can't do it. It sounds reasonable.
So that's why I'm saying, we have consensus
Yep.
on what we want to propose,
Mhm.
and then we will bring in the TA and the assistant town administrator, acting town administrator and the assistant town administrator, for some conversation on this.
2
And-
ATAs, wow.
2 ATAs.
Actually, interim.
That's right, interim.
Right.
That's
I'm
what I was
hoping-
for.
I'm hoping we hear from the finance committee on some of this stuff, changes they would like to propose or see discussed. I'm hoping for it.
I had a conversation, Dana showed up
Dana,
yesterday at the shop, in between.
Camping trips?
Well, they, spent the winter out and about, and then, when Dana came back, they had to go right up to Maine, because his
Mhm.
brother was very sick, and his brother passed away. So then they're back, and then they've got 2 weeks that they're gonna be somewhere else. Dana did say that he plans to be here at least through December, once they're back, because he's, involved in the process. But I kind of got him up to speed a little bit on what we're talking about. And I'm sure he'll be talking to Peter at some point.
yeah, and
Will he not be coming in? Or
who,
Peter, chair?
Peter's not, Bob McCready is the chairman.
Oh, well, congratulations to Mr. Chair.
Oh, yeah,
Madam Chair, Mr. Chair, wow.
but I'm still in charge.
Yes, dear.
That's why I'm still
My
married.
husband actually said when my brother got married many years ago, Bob told him, you only need 2 words.
Right.
Yes, dear. And Joe did not listen to him, so he's now divorced.
44 years in a couple of weeks, so.
Yeah.
We
I
just did
subscribe.
We just did 46.
Did you really? Did you get married when you were 10?
49 for me.
Wow!
There you go.
So what's,
Yes, dear.
what's Megan's
I have
role?
nothing to
Has
say.
her role changed at
You
all?
guys all in
Megan?
middle school when you
ATA.
got married?
Okay.
Megan hasn't
My
changed. We
batch
have
was 17.
ITA,
Yeah,
First one
interim
to
town
10.
administrator, and assistant town administrator.
okay. Because I know she was going up, and then she's still in her existing role.
Correct. I don't know if he has signed a contract yet. They discussed a contract last week at executive. I don't know if they have actually signed the contract, if he started. So she is in the role until he signs his contract.
Oh,
The charter requires that the select
Correct.
board name an acting,
okay.
Right.
town administrator within X number of
10 days, yeah.
10 days.
Yep.
So they had to do it by July 10th,
Okay.
because June 30th was
Mhm.
ours last day. So
Okay.
she is the acting town
The
administrator.
interim acting town administrator.
The interim acting town administrator,
Okay.
until we get to an interim town administrator.
Okay, good.
So there's some odds and ends. We feel comfortable with the timeline bit?
Sure.
Yes.
All right.
That's-
The
that's
thing we had on for this next was to start talking about chapter 5 which is the role of the town administrator.
I found it very interesting that they were trying to figure, to form some kind of a committee amongst themselves, select board, to figure out what they needed in a TA.
No, I think
No,
that
what
was,
they're-
that is a
Screening committee. is what
screening
they're
committee.
looking for, Matt. They-
Right.
Once the
Citizens committee.
consultant comes forward with his recommendations, the screening, or with his list, the screening committee will go through those,
Do research on
do
them.
the research.
And it's also a confidential search. The search committee is a confidential search where the minutes are all executive session. You do not have a member of the select board sit on it. So it's just,
Well, they're not calling it a
citizens.
search committee, they're calling it a screening committee.
well,
There is
it's,
a little distinction there.
I know, and I think general law requires a search committee.
I don't think general law requires any such thing.
No, all right,
They don't have to have a search committee, they can do it all themselves if they
I
want to.
guess.
Isn't that what grew?
no.
No, Rue was recommending a screening committee.
Right. They recommend a screening committee. The latest discussion is that each of the 5 select board members will have a choice, will appoint someone to it. They wish to appoint a member of staff to the committee and then have a 7th
At
general
large.
member, which they went into a big discussion about how we're gonna appoint it, so we have a process.
The same we do in any appointment. you accept.
Citizens activity record,
Yeah,
send them in, you have an interview committee, they interview, you send a recommendation to the board. It's a simple, don't reinvent the wheel, it's already there.
I'm surprised we didn't have, they had to tell the prior town administrator by April 30th, I think it was, whether or not the contract was gonna be renewed.
Correct.
Why weren't they having these conversations, oh, stop it, Linda, in May, so that we could now pull the trigger? Here we are, August, we're still trying to figure out how to put together a search committee, so by the time they get done fooling around with this,
You have to ask the person sitting in the chair at the time, I think. Why? That's an agenda item.
it is, but it's, why didn't you do this?
All right, we're not going back, we're going forward.
Okay,
Let's go to
well,
section
town
5.
town administrative organization.
C7,
Oh, excuse me.
C7,
We'll see you later.
Ken, what are you looking for?
administrative, right?
Town administration, chapter 5, page 11, C11.
Page 11, yeah.
And it's actually the organization of town administration, as opposed to the role of the town administrator, which is chapter 4. I guess I moved up here.
So what are we doing?
We can do, well, we're posted for chapter 5, town administrative organization. How is town administration organized?
Okay, that's the select board, yes.
It's the town
No.
administration. If you look at it, you
It's
start
the divisions and departments.
divisions and departments. So it's things like, the divisions shall include a division of finance, a division of highways and maintenance, which is now the DPW, so that has to change, and any other division. So what division should there be in town administration? Should that even be in here?
What's the difference between a division and a department?
Well, then you get back into
You can have
chapter
divisions.
4, section 5, 451, which will bring you to
Chap-
organize, consolidate, or abolish any division, department, or position replaced by this
Well,
chapter.
this is from the website, so you've got a different copy.
It's the same thing, though.
Divisions and departments, you can have departments within divisions. Division of finance, town accountant, finance department.
And Linda, can I make a recommendation?
So let me just.
Yeah, go ahead.
So therefore, the finance division, under it is the Department of Assessing, the treasurer, and the accounting department. So the division has departments under it.
Okay.
And same thing if you look at police. You've got the investigative, you got this division, you got that, so you've
Public
got,
safety, fire, and
right, so you've got public safety, fire, that's the division, under it are other departments. Is that
Okay.
helpful?
What page you want? What, C what?
C11,
C11, okay,
sir.
okay.
I'm not sure it gets specific on your agenda, you know, so if we get caught, well, we can't discuss chapter 4 because agenda says chapter 5. But there are a lot of items in chapter 5 that are referred back to chapter 4.
Yes, they do. But
Okay.
if we start with, but if you look at chapter 5, town administrative organization, it's the organization, not what people do, but it's the organization of the town.
Okay.
So should that be relabeled the organization of the town?
That's a nit.
Fine.
Is that a technical
We're not
term?
into
Wait a
nits.
minute, we need to include a definition for nit.
Yes, nit, okay, should I put down here, nit?
Page 29.
Is that in the definition?
Page 29,
Is
nit.
that in the
I actually
definition?
kind of like that, how the town is organized. I mean, it's,
I don't think there's anything really wrong with that, and I think there's plenty of room for movement inside of it without getting too
too nitty.
Too nitty.
restricted, as it were. It's a lot
And there's
of-
finance, yes, so if you look at page C12,
Hmm.
Division of Finance, it's assessment, the tax, the fee collections, disbursements, purchasing, and other things of a fiscal nature.
Mhm.
You got the Public Works. And that's where some wording has to change, because 5-1-2 talks about it as a division of highways and maintenance,
Yeah.
but section 3 calls it a division of public works, the DPW.
One interesting, maybe little side note, 533, this management advisory team.
Yes, yes.
That was
Hmm.
practiced, to my knowledge, for many years. I'm not sure it has been in most recent years. It seems to be a little loose. I didn't go back to 432. It seems to be a little loose as far as, when it meets. Shall be held, 432.
Well, it gets a little difficult, because I don't think we have a town engineer at this point.
No.
No, but we have water, we have all the, DPW and what have you. I guess my question would be, instead of regular meetings of the team, which is subject to interpretation,
Mhm.
regular once a year, once a day, I think it should maybe specify at least no less than once a month.
Mhm.
Is there currently a management advisory team?
Well, there's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And there was, and I don't know how it's practiced under this, I have no idea,
Hmm.
honestly. But
Okay.
listening to the meetings and discussion, I don't have the sense that this is happening.
I haven't heard of
I could
one.
be entirely wrong about that, but it just doesn't sound like it is.
So another nit, are we Division of Public Works or Division of Highways?
I've always known as Highway Department.
And I think we changed it at some point to the DPW, Department of Public Works.
The team shall include the director
So in
of the
512?
division. This is kind of murky, actually.
533
Yeah, the team shall include the director of the division.
of the DPW, yep. Department heads,
No,
I was-
somewhere else there was, this isn't the one I don't know about this. That's not the one I was
Then can you go back to 512?
fussing about.
yes, 5, 1,
And where it says Division of Highways, Division of
yep,
Public Works?
yep.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be,
No, somewhere there was supposed to be maybe it's gone. I didn't have a chance to look at this week, so pardon me for being stupid, but, at one time, there was a management team that would meet with the town administrator and the heads of all the divisions. And that's what I'm looking for.
That, yeah, I've seen that in here, Sandy.
there
Yeah,
are,
there is,
And
and I
just,
don't know where it is.
that's the one that I don't think has been happening.
the department head meetings
Okay,
can
but-
happen.
Could we get to that one when we get to it?
Because I know that Jenny Hewitt, the
Okay.
library director, will talk
About
about
the town administrator. and all
town
that.
administrator in there, and it's, at this point, I believe it's broken into a couple of pieces, so that there's the,
I'll look at that. That's all right.
But I-
It's in there, Sandy, I just don't know where.
Yeah,
But it's not in
exactly.
5.
but it is happening, and it has happened.
Yeah. So could we go back to 5?
Yep.
Wait,
5 what?
No mess.
Well, we're discussing 5.
Yeah.
Okay, yes, we are. What do you
So
want?
the only change I've seen is 512 is from Division of Highways to Division of Public Works.
Yep,
And then the departments. Any of the departments established under 451, so we'll go back to 451. Do those need to be?
Well, 451. Town administrator may, with the approval of select
Yeah,
board,
yeah.
reorganize, establish, consolidate, or abolish any division, department, or position placed by this charter under the town administrator's direction and supervision, except as otherwise provided by general law, blah, blah, blah. So I think that what that's
So
saying
that's,
is,
my question of that is, going back there, do we want 3 members of the select board changing the charter under
Yeah, it's a
creating
lot
these
of
divisions
power.
and departments?
well, it says with the approval of the affirmative vote of as at least 3 members of the select board.
Right.
So
Should-
you could up the ante to 4.
Well, the bottom line is, do you want to give the select board the right to change the charter?
They're not changing the
Of course
charter.
they are.
What number is that,
No.
Richard?
5
Right,
5-1.
under divisions,
551?
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
says, the division shall include these things and any other divisions
Yeah.
established under clause 451.
yeah, okay.
451 isn't changing the charter.
Well,
451 is saying
change the
the
departments.
the
Allows
town
it- yeah.
administrator wants to have a department of hoop-de-doo,
Mhm.
and the select board has the right to say yes or no. That's not changing the charter.
Well,
If you want to tighten that up, I would say that worst case, make it affirmative vote of 4. Because sometimes the 3-2 thing doesn't work out entirely well.
No, the point being is that you again, if that is the right, and that's if the charter wants to say that the select board with a majority, a simple majority of 3 votes, which could be 4 votes further down, have the right to change departments. That's all.
And I think once we talk about the select board's
Yeah, yeah.
authorities, that will be that discussion.
Okay, no, I get
So
it.
rather than getting caught up in.
That's fine, all right, that's,
Well,
thank
I
you.
think you want to leave that, it's a little bit, it's not exactly the same, it's a little bit like when one of the selectmen wanted to include the entire entire wastewater bylaw in the charter. And the argument that we had one night was, no, you don't want to do that, because it takes 1.5 to 2 years to change the charter. If you've got a town administrator who comes in and looks at the whole picture and says, well, no, this whole structure over here is not working, you don't want to have to wait 2 years to change a charter to fix it.
Mhm.
So I think that's a valuable
That's
thing to keep. You might want to define it as 4 members, I mean.
But that'll be back when you talk
I
about
know.
select
Yeah, that's
board
fine.
Right,
authorities.
That's fine.
well, it would have to be changed here as well.
No, here we just,
You would just say, well, it
You
says a
say-
vote of at least 3.
Let's make a note of
You might want to make it a
451.
vote of
but
at least 4.
that's in section 4.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And I'm saying that'll be a discussion, we actually talk about select board responsibilities, so hold that thought.
yeah, I got it, I'm noting that, okay.
I get you, Richard, it's almost like asking why we have a charter if we can do all that.
That's
Run that
and
over.
that's a topic of, that's a different topic, which is how much authority do you want to vest in the elected select board?
Right.
Hmm.
Versus how much authority do you want to vest in something else?
Right.
Yeah,
Town meeting or the town administrator?
yeah.
And that's a discussion when we get to select board. How much authority do you want vested in the select board? Because that's a different topic.
it's just, we need to keep in mind
So,
that kind of-
question now, when we get into the divisions further down 5. Division of Finance and Public Works, is police and fire a separate
Public
division?
safety.
But is that a division under public safety?
There is actually not a public
There's not a public safety in the charter.
Well, they call it public safety
It's not in
now
the charter.
because it's in the same building, but it wasn't when this was written.
Right, so it's a, if you're looking at a division of public safety, and here's the thing with that. The chiefs of both of those divisions, departments, are under the Department of Public Safety. They're accountable to the select board,
Mhm.
not the TA. TA, it states, the TA has the right to change under,
451.
no, it's under 514. Responsibility for the functions administered within the several divisions and departments shall be vested in the town administrator.
With the exception of public safety functions.
We have to put that in.
Yes.
And the library,
See, that's the point, is so
and
these,
the water department.
so what's happening is this is where some of the sticking point has come in the last few years of, okay, the hire of the library, is it of the select board or is the library trustees?
And we changed the charter a number of years ago.
Correct.
That it is the trustees, not just the director.
Right.
But all the staff at
So-
the library.
So the point being is, then is not under the direction of the administrator, which it currently
That's right.
states in the charter. Same thing with the duties
Mm-hmm.
under public safety, which right now is broken down by police and fire, is under the authority of the town administrator.
So you need specifically to carve out those functions.
So 514, we need to do some work on.
Yes, I have here, what are the divisions?
Right.
Which is 512 and 514.
So that, you know, if you,
512.
because when you go over to the next page,
Yep.
when you look at the divisions, 521, 531,
You got police and fire. Planning department.
so we really should talk about what are the divisions. Now,
Yes.
isn't planning under community development, isn't that a division?
Yes, it is. So I think the divisions now are fire, police, there's community development, which has under it health, planning,
And building,
building,
Yep.
And I can't think what else,
conservation?
conservation. And we have,
So
there's the library is a division,
right, so do you want public safety with fire and police under public safety?
but then that would assume that there is a division director. And I'm sure neither chief.
No, I agree.
that
So-
one up.
So if we're gonna have two separate divisions, it's going to be a police division and a fire division. But then those
Well,
need,
not all departments have to be under a division.
no, but those are mentioned here. Fire and police are mentioned. And
Well-
we've established, or they have established through policy rather than charter, the community development.
And it's,
division.
and it's almost, I'm gonna say not relevant, which in this charter now is probably more relevant, what would we like it, propose it to
Just-
say?
This is the opportunity.
So, because the library is its own division.
Right.
Where's the community center in this? Is that,
Who is that under the authority of right now? It's under the authority of the town administrator.
yeah, but is it in a division or not?
Is it
So I
under
think a question,
Maybe?
Huh?
Public Works, maybe?
No,
no,
no, it's its own
Its
entity.
own thing?
And, so, but here's the
Well,
thing.
what's the Council on Aging?
where, council on aging?
Right.
So that would be a
Probation
department
department.
within,
It's
Which is
just a
that?
department, it's not under a division, separate division. There's no oversight of the COA outside of the ATA and TA. The hierarchy-
So we might want a human services division.
So, I think a question here is what is the current org chart? Before we sit here and spend an enormous amount of time trying to figure out where the council on aging is.
Well, it's probably already in,
It's in there.
it's in the charter.
Yeah.
But it's a separate file on the website.
So maybe that's what we ought to be looking at, is the org chart,
Mhm.
because I think we're going in circles here, so where's this, where's that? How are we currently organized?
Yeah, there's a.
See, all of those are under appointed town agencies, under chapter 7, which we're not supposed to be discussing tonight because we're in chapter 5.
What do you mean by appointed town agencies?
That's what it states in the charter. Chapter 7 is appointed town agencies. And
I understand that, but
And it breaks down,
the senior center is not an appointed agency. That works for the town. The council on aging is its own entity, but the senior center, which I don't understand why we call it the council on aging, because it's not a council, it's a department, for the seniors' support.
You do
That's a town hired people.
but you
That's a
do have
town department.
There is a
Have a
town
council.
department, there is a board of directors, and there is a friends program.
But the board of directors is a separate organization. The Council on Aging is a separate organization.
I understand that. Believe me.
Council on Aging is under the town.
Right. There are,
There's a Council on Aging.
You're on the Council on Aging. Are you appointed by the select
Council
board?
on Aging shall be appointed by the select board in such numbers as outlined in chapter 7 for a
So-
3-year overlapping term. The
So-
director
so-
of the Council on Aging shall be subject to the day-to-day supervision of the town administrator within the scope of the general policy and direction established by the Council on Aging.
Okay, so we still need to look at an org chart as to,
Right.
you got it?
Yeah.
Cool. Is that the current one?
Well, it's the most
Oh,
current
the one
one,
that's on the website, yeah.
Great.
2010, but that's the most current one.
And it's changed because we've created the Community Development Division since that time.
Which
Well,
covers,
if it hasn't changed, it needs to be redrafted, for
Yeah,
sure.
of course it does.
Yeah.
And again, here's the opportunity under
Yeah.
this charter to make some of these changes.
Well, we need to see where we start so we can decide where to go.
Mhm.
In the,
Yeah.
in the Bourne charter, they start off
John
with
Mayer.
section 5.
Let's take a peek.
With organization chart, the town administrator shall annually submit an organization chart establishing personnel requirements within all town departments to the select board by June 1st. The organizational chart shall become effective unless rejected by the select board within 30 days following its submission.
And Bourne is where Tony Schiavi worked, and he
Yeah.
That was
probably
the
knows
last
a
one.
great deal about that organizational chart.
That's good.
It's fortuitous.
So the point is, are we looking to create divisions that
don't exist.
each agency is under? For instance, you've got Rec and Youth, Council on Aging, and Community Center. Those are 3 in one building. Should that be a division? Cultural Center is
And
its
where's
own
the
entity.
cultural center?
Right, that's, again, it's a town agency. Should it have a division or should it not have a division? That's where, frankly, those other divisions, police and fire, they're accountable to the select board. They're not accountable to the town administrator. Whereas they're a division, but their accountability under this is not to the administrator. The administrator says it is. This current charter says they are accountable to them. So we need to make those changes if that's the policy that's been happening in the last 5 to 10 years. That the police chief, the fire chief, they are appointed by, and they have contracts appointed by the select board.
Yes, they do.
They're accountable to the select board, not to the town administrator.
As is the finance director.
Correct. So, but here in this, it says 514 shall be vested in the town administrator unless
And
otherwise provided.
And I think we agree with that, Richard. It
Well, it
needs
is
work.
otherwise provided.
Yeah.
It needs work.
Oh, I agree.
So this whole section, chapter 5, how do we want to proceed? I mean, how do we want to go forward with the discussion? Because clearly, this whole section needs a lot of rewrite. Who's in charge of what? Because it's town administrative, how the town is organized, as opposed to whom does it report?
Right, and so go down to 515,
Yeah?
because that's where we need to put the clarity.
So how do we proceed? I think we agree there's clarity needed, there's wording needed. How do we proceed? Is it, what is the current, I don't know if that's the current org chart or not.
So,
Don't
great
know.
point. So it's a point of discussion. So let's have that and say, okay,
That was the
if
work
we're
on the
creating a
website.
division, who has oversight of the division? Who is the division accountable to? Public safety? No. Finance director? No. But truly, every
But
other,
is it but separate what are the divisions that should be named in the charter versus a secondary consideration is to whom does that division report?
Sure.
So, because you can get caught up in that. I mean, should there be a police and fire fire division, police division? Yes or no, that's our proposal. to whom does it report is decision B.
Right. So what division should we talk about?
I don't know.
Let's talk
That's
about
why
it.
I'm saying, how do we proceed?
And I think it's a greater discussion of hopefully 4 additional members to lend insight to it.
3.
6 of us are here, correct.
I'm saying,
Basic
my
math.
ma-
That's why-
My
that's
math
why-
is better
That's
than
why
that.
he's not an accountant.
I'm not an
It's not
accountant,
an
no.
accountant.
That's why I have an accountant, 2 of them. So,
Question. Why are police and fire accountable to select board versus town administrator? I mean, how do they differentiate? Is there a legal reason that TA doesn't answer, or everybody answered to TA and then he to the board, or?
I think it's the way it was set up. I'm not sure there's a Mass General law thing. I mean, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know if there's a Mass General law that says police chiefs report to the executive function, which would be the select board. I don't know if that's there or not, fire,
Yeah,
I
I'm just-
don't know.
Yeah.
Good question.
Herb, it's been past
I think it
practice
might-
in this community.
I think
Right.
it might be, I think it could be statutory.
But I just don't know, I said I don't know the answer to
It
that.
almost sounds like it would be.
Well, you know, and you've got within those 2 bodies the distinction between a strong chief and a weak chief.
Correct.
And we've got a
Yes.
strong chief in one department and a weak chief in the other department. And that goes to the amount of authority they have within their own department.
It
and I
really,
think
it
it
really
is-
is odd that
I
the
think
fire has this strong chief
Yeah.
language, but the police do not.
Yeah.
I don't understand that, but that's beside the point.
That is a good point, and that's something also we should look at. Why does one department have
this
strong chief
language.
and another
Yeah.
department does
Does
not? Anyone have anything on that?
Probably falls under the category of because it's always been done that way.
Well, now it's time to, if we want to make changes, we make changes.
Well, I know that the police chief.
And maybe it may have something to do with union too.
Oh, I don't know.
Section 5-4-1, a police department shall be established under chief of police. The select board shall appoint the chief of police and other officers that they deem necessary as provided by section 97A of chapter 41 of the general laws.
Okay, let's look at that general law.
So, and under the fire department shall be organized and operated as a so-called strong
Strong chief.
chief department. I don't like the so-called phrase. Under the provisions of section 42 of chapter 48 of the general law. So there is some statutory
Yeah.
stuff as to
Right,
why
well.
that is.
It's probably a long read, Richard.
And I think just, are we just for, I'm not sure, Herb, because you're new at some of this, that most people are in, most of the town employees are in some union.
Right.
But there are a few employees that are, they have individual contracts.
Right, they're
Police,
at more
fire.
administrative levels.
Yep, that higher administrative level. So it's police chief, fire chief, I think the DPW director.
He's not appointed, no. I mean, he's not appointed by the selectmen.
I don't know if he is or not, but I know police, fire,
Director
the
of Finance.
director of finance.
Just police and fire are the only, and Director of Finance are the only 3 appointed by the select board.
But I'm saying, are they contract people?
Oh,
Is Jenny?
Jenny's not a contract.
No,
She's in the personnel bylaw.
Yeah. I think.
So when I say
think-
union or personnel bylaw,
I
but somebody
think-
like the fire chief and
I
police
think
chief,
the DPW director is also,
personnel bylaw,
I think so, yeah.
but there are a few that are individual employment contracts. Most everybody else is either in a union or the personnel bylaw.
And that's, we can speak to the chiefs, see why. Dave,
what?
why are you strong chief and why is Kevin?
I have no idea,
Yeah.
I have no idea why
Well, I
the statute
suspect
doesn't
it's-
use this.
I suspect it's in the statute in one way, shape, or form, and
Yes.
then I think
Where
maybe
is
the town
that
has,
written somewhere?
the
or-
town has the option, and
there's-
for whatever reason at that point in time, that
On
was
page
the option
13.
chosen.
Yeah, it
Of the
doesn't,
charter.
It's very detailed.
Yeah,
It is, it's hugely detailed, so
Doesn't
So-
have that verbiage in this one.
It's here. These two.
Yeah. And it's a substantial,
Interesting.
substantial section under Mass General Law, Herb.
Yeah, that's it. That's 551.
But it doesn't say anything about the wrong chief.
It does
Well,
on the
that's
fire.
why they say so-called.
And that was changed, because that was amended.
Because that isn't, you might
In
have an
60.
old charter. This is the 2006 charter. You need to get a new one.
Okay.
Get the new one,
There's one on the website.
right on the website.
Yeah, under records.
And that even still has to be updated even further. So there'll be a new version coming out soon.
So back to divisions.
Back to divisions. So we would suggest a fire, a police, regardless of whom anybody reports to. Finance, which at this point does include assessing, treasurer, and accounting. I think those are the three that
They
are
are.
finance. The DPW,
Mm-hmm.
which is highways, it's all the building maintenance, all that stuff. Snow plowing, vehicle repair is in there, vehicle maintenance, it's DPW.
Mm-hmm.
The library is a division by itself.
And I think what's in there now is planning, which should be changed to community development.
And there should be community development, which is planning, health,
Building,
conservation,
yeah.
the whole building,
Yeah.
Town engineer.
if we have a town engineer. That stuff is community development.
Correct.
So,
Then the one that just.
and
you-
water and sewer,
Right.
which at some point, the water department probably will look to change its name to water and sewer. But
We
you
have
guys will
been-
think about that.
Oh, no, we've been asking the select board about 5 years now.
So,
Only 5.
so
Well, since it went up to this, yeah.
Linda, so why don't we propose water and sewer
So there's the water and sewer.
division? And then I don't know, you know, I think there is a potential one for community center, cultural center, recreation and youth, council on aging. I don't know how you want to call it.
And I
Human
think-
services, but it's more than
More
human
than
service.
that,
Yeah, it
yeah.
is. So it's, I don't know how you would define it.
I don't either, so there's this, I'm gonna call this pot of, you know, the seniors, the youth and rec, the community center itself, the 204 building.
And you know what, yeah, I'm not opposed to doing two. Community center division, which would be rec and youth, facilities, and council on aging, and then
stick all-
cultural center.
Yeah, and call it some kind of,
I do two different ones. I do community center division, and then cultural.
And the pickleball people go back and forth.
But they're still
Okay.
dictated under rec and youth. They
Under rec and
define
youth,
everything.
And is the historic society separate from the town, or is it part
we are
of the
a
town?
501c3,
Separate.
totally separate.
Okay.
There is a historic district,
Commission.
that is a town agency.
Town agency.
People get confused on that, but yes, the Harwich Historical Society is totally 100% separate.
And the building is owned
The
by the
building is owned by the
nonprofit?
town,
The building's owned by the town.
and we lease it, we have a use agreement.
Got it.
Similar to, what's the one down over there by the water department?
Oh, meeting house.
The South Harwich
South
Meeting
Harwich
House.
Meeting
They
House.
are, there is a
That's-
separate there is a separate private organization, and they have a
Operates it.
use agreement, because the building is owned by the town.
Linda, one more.
Just FYI,
Go ahead. Cindy.
Eastham, go ahead, because I've lost it again. I'll get back.
Take your time.
So some kind of community,
Oh, powers of appointment. Under, in Eastham, the police chief and fire chief shall appoint employees of their respective departments, subject to the approval of the town manager.
Town manager, not select board. Yeah. Well, I think a couple things. Let's finish out if we can. We'll get into the responsibilities and who they report to. Should there be a housing one? Division.
That's kind of human services, isn't
We don't have a human services.
it? No, but if we did.
But you've got housing authority,
Development.
you've got housing committee, you've got,
housing authority is
affordable-
a totally separate organization.
Yeah.
okay,
That's
so you got
state.
housing committee
Yeah.
and affordable housing trust.
Yes, and the
Affordable
Affordable Housing
Housing
Trust
Trust is
is
separate.
totally separate too.
Yeah.
So it's not a division either of the town. It's totally separate.
Yeah, and the housing authority is under the state law,
Mm-hmm.
so you've
And they
got
have their
the
own,
housing.
And they're
committee.
elected, so they're,
no, they're appointed.
They're appointed.
Well,
Housing-
no, not all.
The
Authority?
housing authority
Oh,
or
the housing
elected?
authority's elected.
elected.
Housing authority is elected.
Yeah.
The the Affordable Trust,
The
Housing
trust is
Trust,
appointed.
those are appointed. But it's its own animal.
That's, I'm just throwing out divisions as thoughts of where we're doing it.
Well, yeah, because I think we got, I mean, I think we're okay conceptually. Police, fire, finance, DPW, the library, the community development, water and sewer, and then there's all kinds of other things, because you know, where does some of this go? I mean, I just termed it community services, for want of a better word. Youth and rec, that's a community service. Community center, community service, 204. Community service, the seniors.
Seniors,
That's all.
veterans group.
I can see,
Veterans group, and veteran services.
but that's also, that's
That's kind of
state
a
mandate.
regional thing.
Yeah, that's state
Yeah.
mandate.
But
But
it's still, is that part of community services as a grouping?
But here's the thing, and the difference of, right now, you've got a community center director, which would be a natural division leader of rec and youth, facilities, and council on aging.
One would think that you wouldn't need all three different people there, that there would be
Correct.
there
Right,
would be a,
division head, or division lead, whatever you wanna call
Oh, they're not right now?
no,
it. No,
No,
I
it's
thought
separate.
Carolyn,
no,
Separate
she oversees the building. She does not oversee council on aging, nor rec and youth,
there were separate departments.
separate.
interesting.
So, but I'm not sure that as the community center director, who may be the lead, she should be overseeing the cultural building, 204.
Well, they
Don't know.
took that, they, that
Separated it.
she's,
Right, they did. She ran that,
For a while.
right, for a while, doing both, which is frankly too much to do.
yeah.
What you see, what is developed over there now has gone beyond, I think, what people thought. And with what she has at the community center, she's got a lot on her, but whoever that director is, there's a lot on that plate.
Well, the community center, I mean, when the director of the community center is standing up and goes through, and here's what's happening this month. There's like 9,000 million things going on all day, all the time, that has nothing to do with youth and rec or the seniors. It's all its programming.
But here's the thing
It's
too.
pretty amazing.
The COA has a 16-page newsletter that has things
All
going
their
every
stuff they're
day.
doing.
And that is being set up by the community center director because she dictates all of the
The
space.
space.
So if the council on aging wants to do a program or the recreation and youth wants to do a program, they have to get the authority of the director to say, we need this room, we need that room, we need this room. And that's why you're hearing people saying, we're bursting at the seams because there's so much going on, so.
Well, let's go back to this.
Yep.
I mean, I think we're okay with, as I said, water and sewer, community
Yep.
development,
Yep.
those. So I'm getting to this all other pot.
Mm-hmm.
And does it make sense to have a do you necessarily need to have and I'm gonna call it, I'm calling it for want of a better word, community services, and all the rest of this stuff is in there, because the Arbor House, that's an orphan, there's
Mhm.
another one. And it is a community service, the Alborough House, because we've got the youth
Youth
services
in there.
person in there. Does it necessarily mean that the community services thing has to have a division head over all of these. Because to my understanding, in community development, which is the grouping of planning and health and conservation and blah, 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 I don't think there's a division head over all of them.
I don't either.
It's just the grouping.
I don't think you need to have, I think you do have a division under the community center. I think it's a natural division there.
So you would say a community center division,
Correct.
which would be the building itself,
Facilities, Rec and Youth, and Council on Aging.
and youth, and
COA.
seniors.
Yep.
Okay,
I think that's a natural,
they're all in the same building.
correct, natural. The others, I think, are basically just other town agencies. You've got a cultural director who runs the 204. You've got one agency in the Alborough House. That's it. There's no natural umbrella over that. You've got veterans that is dictated by of the town that are not within a division. And they will.
That's okay.
Right, I agree. I think it's fine. I think they will be accountable to a town administrator.
Yep,
And I think some of the divisions would be accountable to the town administrator.
mhm.
And some of the divisions will be accountable to the select board.
Or to another elected board.
Or, and maybe perhaps if there isn't a.
Library is totally,
No, I see what you mean. Yes. I'm
And-
thinking,
Same with
And water
water.
and sewer.
yeah, we don't want to create any other elected boards, do we?
no,
Uh,
Thank God.
I don't.
Does it make
Maybe.
sense to think about
Maybe,
You'll have to explain that.
if,
yeah, I can do that.
if it isn't a division, you have these,
Oh, I know what you're talking
the
about.
floaters, let's say, that they meet once a year as an advisor, I don't know, floater advisory board?
Those all are under staff. And that department heads, so every one of those agencies per se would have a department head somewhere. They meet, I want to say monthly,
Oh, they already do?
yes,
Oh,
as
with the town
under staff with the town
administrator,
administrator.
There are all kinds of staffing meetings.
I meant the ones that are not part of a division, that they as a group, their leads meet,
Yes.
so that they get the support, they get similar support that the division folks get,
They
if you
do.
follow me.
I think they're all accountable somehow to the same, again, either TA or select board or library trustees or water. You've got your hierarchy.
Yeah,
There are some that are just, they're there, but they're accountable to the town administrator. And that they have their monthly staff meetings that they do get together with everyone else. I'm not sure, yeah, it's a great idea if people want to meet, but
well, I guess I'm trying to understand is those that are in divisions, other than the ones like the library or the water, which are articulated by Mass General law differently, is there a practical reason for the divisions versus having all these different departments?
I think it's the organizational structure. You have, under finance are those three departments under finance because they're like kind. You know, it's financial,
But I mean, the structure of division, the division structures themselves, do they make the operation smoother? Do they facilitate
I would,
X, Y, and Z?
can I give
I
the
would
example
say
of
yes.
council on aging, because I've been involved in that for years.
Yeah,
It would be much easier to have a division head so that Rec and Youth, Council on Aging, and Facilities. Facilities is the third group,
yeah,
and they have their own committee.
yeah,
The Facilities Committee, having one person at top of all of that, so that when we get into the issues of scheduling, for instance, one person is responsible, and then basically the community.
a omnibus, I don't know, just so